I've had to restart my own life more than once. Here are the steps that helped me on that journey. As an over 40 busy parent, sometimes you have to hit that restart button. So if you're like me, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. So starting with pausing and reflecting. Why? Well, basically you can't restart if you don't know where you're going. So take a few moments out of your day in the morning or in the evening and have a piece of paper, like a notebook by your side, and just write down, what comes to your mind when you're having that quiet time, and just think about all the things and really try to focus in on what made you happy. For me, what helped was, what made me happy as a young child, as 6 years old, and focus on that and write that down once you get that out. Or if you need to write a lot to get all the thoughts out of your mind, do that as well. Step number 2, rebuild your morning routine. So coming from that sort of thinking of small changes, big impact, just do little things that help you, get ahead in the day. For instance, it can be waking up a few more minutes before you have to do all the things, getting the kids ready for school. You can start off by waking up 30 minutes ahead and getting everything set up, like breakfast and everything. And, taking time for yourself to wake up, do a little exercise, get your energy going again, because that's one thing too, over 40, your energy is, a lot different. And exercise really helps to regain that energy again, because it takes a while to kind of wake up, I find lately. So yeah, definitely, wake your body up with some exercise and give yourself that extra few minutes in the morning to, take care of yourself in the morning. Another small change would be, drinking water right away. Don't, and not reaching for your phone right away. Like, maybe for me, I check the time and the weather, but, really try to, stay away from checking emails or social media right when you wake up in the morning. Just, give yourself that extra breathing room to wake up. Step number 3, simplify your environment, declutter. So that comes from, when there's less cluster. So that comes from basically when there's less clutter around, there's less stress. I know when I see lots of piles of things, especially clothing, as you can see, I have a very minimal wardrobe. Keep it simple and keep everything easy to clean. And, it really makes a big difference. That's something I'm still working on. But I've noticed when I started being more conscious of, the amount of clothing I have and piles and getting rid of them, it really has made a big impact of being able to be more creative and being able to think more clearly. Because when there's a lot of clutter, that is basically an energy drain. Step number 4, create some micro goals. So that's basically, think of your daily goals, your weekly goals, or monthly goals. That would kind of come into that whole short-term goals. And, for me, for example, would be exercising every day at the same time, and sort of building that habit of before I do anything, especially in the morning, I have to first exercise. And the whole concept too with micro goals, don't aim to overhaul everything all at once. Just create a bunch of small goals that will eventually build up to that major overhaul and shift in the next, year or 6 months. So create little goals that work towards that, like kind of compound interest, if you, think of it that way. For example, if you want to get more in shape and just, as I mentioned, have more energy, make it a goal to work out for 10 minutes every day. And, when it comes to diet, include more protein with every meal. Little goals. Number 5, step number 5 is, this is something I'm always preaching, is protect your energy. And that kind of comes, and how you do that is basically setting boundaries, teaching the kids that they can do things for themselves. Don't always do everything for them, especially when they're growing up, because as my own, as a parent myself, this is just my thinking, is you're supposed to train your kids to become adults and independent. And this is an opportunity to train them to do things themselves and to help them practice good habits as well, like at dinner time, clearing the table, getting their own plates, putting things away, wiping down the table, things like that. So setting up boundaries where you don't do all the things and showing them how to do it. Get used to that. Start getting used to saying no to, doing things that sap your energy. It's okay to say no to certain people, to certain things. You don't have to do or be everything to everyone, because if you're drained of your energy, then you're going to be unhappy, and you don't want that. With protecting your energy, create mini night routines that will help you sort of wind down from the day, like for instance a stretch before settling in bed. And also, again with the phone, this is something I'm still working on myself, is basically, don't have the phone, don't use the phone after 8 p.m. and make that part of your evening routine. Step number 6, reconnect with your passions. Figure out what were the things that made you feel like yourself again. Was it dancing? Was it painting? Was it writing poetry? Figure out what were your hobbies that you did when you're younger that made you feel happy and made you feel not so much happy, but also like connected with yourself and just brought you joy, So it can be anything. So practice all the things again, so it helps you remember. I know for me, it always has to do with some type of creativity, like arts and painting and drawing, and those bring me so much joy that, at times when I do it, I lose track of time. So rediscover your hobby that brought you joy, because when you're happy, that really spreads. Happiness spreads. Build your support system through community. So basically that's, find groups online or offline that align with your interests and passions, and, connect with people who are in those groups. It's so important to, make new friends, and you never know who you're going to meet in these groups, and just connect with people who are like-minded, because it's important to talk to others. Sometimes you can sort of be in your own like little world of parenting, and it's always good to connect with others and just build that support. And it's so good to talk to other people besides your small circle, if it is small. So yeah, build your support system. And this also helps with, keeping up the momentum of your changes within yourself that you're doing to improve. So having that support system will really help you keep growing in the direction that you want to. And, when it comes to connecting with people with your interests, make sure those interests are the things that are new, that are the things that you want to sort of move into. Not, it can be, your old interests and your passions, but make sure you connect with communities online or offline that are things that you want to become or interested in for the future, if you understand what I mean. Anyways, restarting your life doesn't mean starting over. It means choosing a better version of yourself every day, and you deserve that. So if this video helped you, please drop a like and subscribe. Bye now.